Happy Wednesday again, everybody. So the market is pretty much been in full recovery mode this recent week. I think the last time we spoke, we were somewhere right around the 265s. I was mentioning we might test the 275s, and then it's going to be kind of a key indicator there. With the recent elections, it looks like the market found that pretty much all positive. So today it pretty much just rallied over 2%. That's pretty interesting as far as, everybody who got elected. I haven't even looked to see all that. One of the big things that I did notice was Jeff Sessions is no longer going to be with us. So that sent a lot of marijuana stocks. Yet again, we're talking about marijuana, CGC, Tilray, all those names. Even I think Cron kind of joined at the end of the day there. All these names just started ramping today after some of that news started to kind of actually get pushed through. One of the other areas of interest that we were talking about even last week was Bitcoin. It's been pretty much flat in this 65, 64, 6,300 range for months. It feels like there was that recent run up into what people thought was the Bitcoin ETF, and then pretty much just came all the way back after that. But even from a chart perspective, back there, that's not really the action that's going to sustain any upward moves. So the fact that we've pretty much flattened out for the last few months, I think it's been about 3 months where we sat pretty much tightly in this range. I think this is also another Bitcoin ETF speculation. There is some more that's coming into the works. But as far as working everything out, I think some of the recent information I've read is there's a record low short positions that are out there. So that's also a big key interest. So one of the things to be paying attention to, again, is GBTC. It may have set a bottom here at the 660s. It had been oddly ramping for the last few days with Bitcoin pretty much not doing anything. So obviously it's got about a $300 price bump, but GBTC is kind of leading the charge there. So overall with the market, I would expect that we need to kind of turn around in this area, retest 275s at the minimum, and then kind of go from there. So that's kind of my thoughts overall on the market. Some of those binary events you can never really predict. I mean, some of the wrong people could have got elected, and we could have gone straight down towards the lows. So these are the type of things you just can't predict. You just avoid taking as much risk or put on as much risk as you want if you're feeling that certain things are going to happen during those binary events. So that's kind of that as far as stocks go. There was some crypto news recently. That'll just cover briefly, just because it was near and dear to me. So Coinbase finally adds browser startups Brave basic attention token. And I'm going to do a sub video on my own channel about this. So this is something that I'm only mentioning because it's been a year coming for me personally. So it's pretty market relevant. And I urge everybody to take a look at this, as I've mentioned. So they actually listed this not under the US dollar pairings or even a Bitcoin pairing. They listed it under their first token pairing, which was the USDC. So it's also got Bitcoin. But there's some very interesting mechanics that are kind of in the background, for a 30-cent token. If crypto gets hot, this is going to be one that people are going to look at. It's just kind of one of those interesting market things. So that is that. If there's other big news in the crypto sphere, I'll definitely be putting it on this. But overall, market sentiment seems to be turning positive. I'd anticipate, like I said just a few minutes ago, kind of some churn to the sideways. I think we're going to start seeing some of this action as volatility has pretty much gotten squashed. And that was a topic of conversation last week, where this very easily, depending on what was going on, could have broken higher. But I had mentioned that likelihood of that was 50-50. Nobody really knew. So the fact that volume or volatility got squashed, market kind of turned and ramped. It's very similar to this type of action. So I would expect something like a 2 or 3 day pullback. Not immediately, but maybe in the next week or two. So hope everybody has a great rest of the week.